Hey gang, this is going to be a brief episode. Essentially, I got a commission. Don't get all excited. My daughter figured out that I was painting stuff, and how cool is this? She's in a D&D group through the local library, and they play every few weeks on Zoom, which, man, I wish I had that when I was a kid. But after last season, the kids all got sort of goodie bags with little figures in them and stuff, and she was like, "Hey, I have this terrain feature. Could you paint it for me?" Of course, I said yes. So this commission is for dad points, but that's kind of worth its weight in gold. So this is briefly just me painting a few rocks on a base. I swear I've gotten to my poxwalkers. There's a picture to prove it. Next episode, I'll walk through the painting the other 27 of those guys, but this one for right now is just me painting a few rocks on a base, and it was a lot of fun, and my kids seem to like it. So let's get right down to it. This is 0 to 40k. So this job is easy peasy, mac and cheesy. I sprayed this guy down with Chaos Black to start. It's an interior. It's basically three rocks with some crystals around it. The intel I got on this is that it's some interior location, and the crystals are supposed to glow purple. So I hit them with some white to start. Nothing really exciting here. Eventually, you'll see that the rocks get a gray treatment. That is a mixture of Corax white and Abaddon black, which, if you mix white and black, you get gray. This is actually just kind of a fun, relaxing little thing to do something for my kid. So there's really not too much complicated here. I hope you'll note that I mostly keep the thing in the shot. It's mostly in focus. So, little by little, I'm sort of learning how to do this thing of content creation. Also of note, I've learned a little bit about VO work. I either with a mic clipped to me while I'm painting ramble on, or I do VO after the fact and punch it in like I'm doing right now. But I did learn how to, in Audition, reduce some of the noise of me talking into a headset in this tiny, cramped little office. I also put up some uh, garbage soundproofing. Basically, had some foam from some boxes, so I tacked it on some walls. So hopefully, the audio, the VO at least, on some of these clips will be a little bit clearer with a little less hum in the background and a little less reverb. So that's a step in the right direction too. Sometimes super simple tasks teach you a lot. All I've got to work with here is three rocks, painting them gray, and some crystals that I did. But as you can see, they're totally flat. They're up against this black backdrop. So in a second, I think it's Nuln Oil, which is like notorious in terms of grinding stuff up. I hit them with a bunch of that, and then I'm going to start hitting them with some highlights. At this point, I'm just taking any edges I can find that are raised up a little bit, and I've taken the exact same gray that's sitting on my palette. I added a little bit of white to it. I still don't really know the science and art of lighting, but this seems to be the right thing to do, and it actually turns out just fine. And it's teaching me a little bit about how to be, really delicate with the brush, which I haven't up to this point been. So it was kind of nice to take something like this and just take a break with it and draw some lines on it and hope it looks like a rock afterwards. And it, believe it or not, the magic just sort of happens. At this point, it's time to give it a wash. I'm trying to get a little bit more texture and depth out of these gray flat rocks. The highlights are okay, but it still looks pretty flat. A little bit of Nuln Oil on this guy, thinned out a lot. I intentionally let it pool in a few spots just to get some variance on there. It looks pretty good. I'm pleased with it at this point, and it's time to move on to the crystals. Right now, we're just adding layer upon layer of Magos Purple to the crystals, not glopping it on, and I'm also dabbing the stone areas around the crystals just a little bit, like super thinned out Magos Purple again, to sort of give the illusion of a little bit of glow going on there. It worked out okay. I think I've got some work to do there, but it's something I'm going to try again in the future. The almost final step is adding some texture to the base with, what is it, Astro Granite. I didn't have a good tool for this. It's basically just a clipped up piece of cable tie. I think I'm going to get, I think I have lying around some dentist tools. Don't ask me why. So I'm going to dig those out in the future because this was kind of a pain in the butt to do, even though it's just plopping down some stuff. But I want to make sure that I can apply that textural stuff nice and cleanly in the future. So it's time to get some better tools. And here we have the finished product. You'll note that I added some skulls in after the fact. I got a shipment of a tiny bunch, like 300 little skulls, all in just like 4 sprues, just piles of them. So in my excitement, I was like, oh man, the only thing this needs now is skulls, and they just showed up. I just like very quickly primed them, clipped them out, tossed them on there, and washed them a bit. As you'll see, I was a little fast and lazy with it, but that's a good lesson. And my daughter doesn't seem to care much. She's happy with the finished product, and she's got a couple other things for me to paint in the future. So, all the way around, a pretty successful little jaunt. So much stuff to do. I need to get myself into a mindset that when I'm putting the model together and gluing, um, just be careful when I'm taking stuff off the sprues. Sand them down a little bit, scrape a bit more. I just need to put more time into it. I get kind of excited when I'm putting something together, and I don't always spend as much time as I should doing cleanup before painting. So that obviously showed this time. Lo and behold, I've got a lot of footage right now of stuff that I've done that I haven't edited together and posted up to YouTube. I need to get better at my process of chopping up footage, saying dumb things over it, and getting uh, more of these episodes out faster. My poxwalkers are done. I'm going to spend this afternoon trying to cut that footage up as best I can. I've started moving on to some terrain. That's cool stuff. Lots of things to practice there. And there's a lot of metals and stuff that I want to sort out before I get onto my Plague Marines. And so these terrain models, they're like buildings. They have a lot of stuff to play with in terms of making metals look like they've been worn and corroded and stuff like that. So, lots coming soon, and hopefully I'll start getting some content out faster. I do want to say thanks at some point this week. I was just kind of clicking through stuff, and I saw that I had a subscriber. I think I have a couple now. I don't know why you guys are doing this to yourselves, but I certainly do appreciate it, and that definitely motivates me to paint more and film more and edit more. So we will see you all later.